Love is our true divine nature, and our heart serves as the intersection of the spiritual and physical, connecting our soul with our body as the conduit for anchoring our divinity onto the earth plane. Embodying our divinity is the key to our ascension and to manifesting our highest destiny in this life. The teachings of the heart are alchemy. Join spiritual mentor and channel Jennifer Spor each week on a sacred journey to lift the veil to remembering your divinity and meet other beautiful souls who are living the path of the awakened heart. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So happy that you are here with me today listening, and I am feeling inspired to share with you a story about my own journey. And once upon a time, because that's always a great way to start a story, right? It is once upon a time, but it's actually not all that long ago. I speak a lot about the time in my life when I discovered that I had hit a ceiling in my prior life and my prior career, and when I discovered deeper meaning and deeper purpose. And I talk about that, a lot. And today I'm actually really for the first time sharing a different, more recent phase of my ascension journey, actually. And that is when I started feeling a call to deeper truth. So this goes beyond taking the leap to live our purpose and to even, start a soul-led business. This is beyond all of that. This is the call to live embodied in even deeper truth, even deeper purpose, even deeper integrity. And like I said, this was all not all that long ago. So I had already, been in my business for a few years and, out there in the world doing my thing and having already experienced a lot of spirals on the journey, right? And if you're listening to this podcast, you have likely been on your path for a while too, right? And that there are a lot of spirals on the journey, right? There are lots of ups and downs and lots of success, and also a lot of times where things can feel challenging. And when we experience challenges on our journey, you know, um, it's right. It's because something is coming forward from within us to be released. It's because we are resisting letting go of, things in our life that no longer serve us. And at this point, I had actually had several of those challenges and several dark nights of the soul. And it's important to mention that, because it's important for us to be radically honest in acknowledging all aspects of our journey, the light and the dark. I Even at this point on my journey, I was still on a hamster wheel of healing growth, for years. And this can happen with so many of us, especially those of us as healers and those of us who are holding space for transformation for others. We can fall into this place of you know treating ourselves like there's always something wrong with us or always something that needs to be fixed. And this is actually the paradigm that the personal development industry as a whole, and that, 3D society perpetuates. And it's because there are a lot of people, right, that benefit from perpetuating a paradigm, in that there's always something missing from us, and we always, that there's always something that we need to fix. That if we take one more course, or buy one more thing, or learn one more thing, or hire another person, that our problem will be solved. And I want to say that, that there is absolutely a benefit, right, in investing in support. And that is something that I offer as well, right? Providing support for others who are feeling called to that deeper truth, to that next level of expansion in their path. However, when you're reaching out for support, you want to do that coming from a place of empowerment, not coming from a place of disempowerment. But our society often perpetuates, that energy of feeling like there is something missing in us. Anyway, so at one point on my path, I moved beyond that, right? I moved beyond that, and this is when actually the Akashic Records began to call to me. And the Akashic Records, they're not a healing modality. The Akashic Records are actually part of us. They are our soul records, essentially the storehouse for all the information of our soul's experiences. And so I'm mentioning the Akashic Records because the Akashic Records have played a key part on my journey in terms of assisting me in stepping into answering that call to deeper truth and stepping into creatorship. And I want to talk about creatorship here a little bit more because, we hear a lot about manifesting. This isn't about manifesting. This is about your I am that I am presence, your higher self, your higher Mother, Father, God presence. This is about creating your reality beyond desire. It's about creating your reality from a space of truth and love, from a place of empowerment, as I mentioned earlier, right? Not creating from a place of disempowerment. And this is the answer to deeper truth that I was being called to at the time, and that I answered through the Akashic Records. So answering that call to deeper truth is, and creating from a space of truth and love and from empowerment, involves being radically honest, in our deeper motives behind why we do what we do, why we pursue what we pursue. It's about taking full personal responsibility for the reality that we've created. And yes, there are absolutely circumstances in our external environment that we do not initiate creation around. However, we are still responsible for how we respond to those circumstances. So radical honesty, personal responsibility, being honest, with ourselves about why we're doing what we're doing, making a decision that we are worthy of what we desire to pursue, that abundance and prosperity is our birthright. And when we start to create from that space, from knowing that we're whole, from loving ourselves, then everything else that we do, all of our relationships, every aspect of our being comes from that same space. So, when you make a conscious decision, which I did, I got to the space on my path where I made a conscious decision that I wanted to step into my creatorship. I wanted to create my reality from a space of truth and love. When I did that, I entered a space where at the time it felt like everything was falling apart. Uh, Lifelong relationships, left my life. Professional relationships left my life. Uh, I actually started having some significant health issues. My finances went in the crapper, and I actually turned over all of the clients in my business. It really did feel like everything went to hell in a handbasket once I intentionally made the decision to step into my creatorship. I essentially went through a period where I had a dark night of the soul, and there were times, let me tell you, that it felt so dark that I honestly asked myself, what was the point of me even still being here? Despite all of that, and despite how dark it felt, I kept going, because despite all of that, I knew that there was the other side of this, and that I was going to get to the other side of this, and that I just had to keep allowing myself to release what wanted to die in my life. All of these experiences this season, it came forward to show me, where there was opportunity for me to get in right relationship with my divine creatorship, with living fully expressed in the truth of who I am, and creating from a space of truth and creating from a space of love. Everything had to die in my life, had to fall apart, that no longer aligned with me, in order for everything to come back together. And some of you may be wondering, how long did it take? How long did this recalibration of myself take? And it lasted several months. It felt like a long time. But truth be told, the amount of time that it takes each of us to move through a deep transformation like that is going to vary based upon our unique path. What I will share with you in terms of advice in moving through a season like that, where where you really want to be intentional about your ascension journey, what I will tell you is that the change will happen faster when you lean in, right? When you're willing to let go, when you're willing to release resistance and surrender to the experiences you're having in the now moment, when you deeply surrender to that, when you let whatever wants to happen, and you trust whatever wants to come forward, then that is how you collapse space and time. That's how you move forward on your journey with more ease and grace. So, after all of that season that I went through, once I made the intention to live fully in truth, to reclaim my power, the power of my ability to create from truth and love, one day, literally one day, I woke up in the morning and the sun was shining, and in my body, I felt like a weight had lifted. I felt and knew that I had changed timelines. I made it. And my existing relationships, they got deeper and more enriched, and money was showing up for me in abundance, and new clients, new colleagues and collaboration partners, new ideas for my business and how I can serve. Those ideas started flooding in. My health began to improve. The significant health issues that I had experienced also during that season, they healed, they disappeared. And there are so many more healing miracles to celebrate that would take a long time for me to share with you, and maybe I'll share some of them, at some point. But there was just so much that came flooding in, so much good, so many miracles once I let go of what no longer served, once I decided that I was going to step into my creatorship. So my life is so much more in flow, and I'm truly feeling happy and fulfilled and excited about continuing to move forward on my path. And I truly feel free. I truly live free. I accept and surrender what is meant to die in my life, and I let it go. And I follow my intuition and my higher guidance at a depth that I could never possibly imagine. That is what has liberated me, the surrender, the trust to follow that guidance. It has brought forth a sense of freedom that I really cannot describe into words. I can truly tell you that I am unstoppable, and that nothing, absolutely nothing, can knock me off of my path. And what's the answer, right, to all of this, to moving forward on your path through all of the ups and downs and all of the seasons? It is having that knowing. It is knowing what that feels like in your body. It's knowing what truth feels like in your body. So that is really what I have been inspired to share with you today, is that you are here for big things. And in order to live your highest timeline here, you have to be willing to break free from all of the constructs that you've been taught about, that you've been conditioned to believe, and know that without a doubt, what you're feeling guided to do is real. And to allow yourself to surrender to that, and to trust that, even when it doesn't make sense, and especially when it doesn't make sense. And that if things feel difficult for you, and when they do, know that in choosing to move through that, to allow yourself to feel it and to surrender what wants to come to you and through you, that you're going to move to the other side of that. And nothing feels more liberating, let me tell you, nothing feels more freeing than following that, than honoring that. This is what I am teaching in my upcoming virtual retreat, Ascension in the Akasha. I am teaching others how to move through their ascension journey with intentionality, and how to leverage their Akashic Records to most directly move forward on that path. I am teaching you in this virtual retreat all of what I shared with you today about my own journey around how to actually embody those new depths of surrender, of trust, of taking personal responsibility and taking action. This is going to be a deeply transformational experience. So if what I've shared here with you today resonates, and you seek deeper truth, and you're ready to answer that call, you're ready to expand into that highest timeline for you, I invite you to join us. And I will include a link with the details of the virtual retreat and where you can sign up. And I honor you, whether you join me and this other group of soul sisters in this upcoming virtual retreat, or you choose to go another way on your path. I honor you and I celebrate you in your willingness to do so. And I honor you and celebrate you in the light and in the wisdom that you are choosing to bring forward to share with the world. Sending you all much love. Thank you for listening to Path of the Awakened Heart. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts or pathoftheawakenedheart.com so you never miss an episode. To learn more about living with an awakened heart and navigating your ascension journey, visit me at jenniferspor.com.